I think my kids would have lost their marbles in here.
All righty. Apologies all for a little late start on that. We had some technical errors, but welcome to Public Works, December 10th, 2024. Yeah, let me pull that up. All right, so first things first, meeting minutes, discussion and approval of meeting minutes from November 26th. Did we all have a chance to look at the minutes?
Sure.
Immediately after the meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
like, as we
Mike
were
was kind
moving.
enough
I
to
kind of
get
don't
them.
even remember, I'm looking at them now.
So, I'll make a
Refreshing
motion to approve the minutes.
I will second, or however you.
And motion passes. Public Works update from our Public Works Director, Mike Naples.
Everybody get a chance to look at the thing?
I did not, but
I saw the potential good news.
Yeah,
I read it.
stormwater first, I think I mentioned before that we were trying to get MDOT to come in and help with the storm drain inlets on Broadway that currently drain into the sewer, and, when we had those meetings earlier this year, they basically didn't have any interest in helping out financially. We were able to have a conversation with the new director of the DOT when we were in West Yellowstone for the League of Cities meeting, and last Friday, the folks at DOT got hold of us, and they wanna, have a meeting about trying to find some funding sources to fix those, so that's good news, and keep your fingers crossed.
That's good news. What was the change of heart?
What's
Change
that?
of heart? What happened? Did you just charm them?
I think the new director didn't agree with the philosophy that, I think the way I put it to him was, I needed to explain something to him. I have one, he used to be the head of the DEQ.
Uh-huh.
I said, I have one state agency, the DEQ, telling me I can't put stormwater in the sewer. I have another state agency that's doing that, and they're not helping us out. And he said, oh, I'll look into that. So I think that's how that got.
Well, nice work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, that would be great if we could, because we have most of that, preliminary design done. I think by the middle of this week, we'll have cost estimates that we can give them. So I'm hoping that if it continues to move along, it would be something that could happen next year.
Cool.
Nice.
On wastewater, we got a notification from the governor's office that we put in for MCEP grant and RRGL grants, and we scored relatively high, 9 for MECP and 17 for RRGL, and those are, I can't remember what the cutoffs are, but they're like 27.
Oh.
So that's a soft yes, we're gonna get funded.
Nice.
And with that in mind, we met with Great West today, and, the relighting project is, it'll be finished design, offer approval, and if everything stays on schedule, be able to go out to bid in the spring. Water, what I talked about last time, those applications have been, put in for the combined funding for the 16-inch bypass and the 2023 rehab project. Likewise, the 16-inch bypass project is, nearly complete in design, and it'll go up for approval probably shortly after this wastewater one, and then it could go up for bid this spring as well. The guy's been out changing water meters. We had, I think, I can't remember the count, many that are aged out and old, so we're just chipping through that list, replacing those meters, and while we're doing that, we are also investigating the building side service lines for our service line inventories. On streets, we had a little snow party last week before the Christmas stroll. We also been working with NWE on getting a lot of the streetlights had bulbs burned out. And in the process, we figured out that a lot of them over time have gotten really loose, so we've been tightening them up so they don't wobble as bad. And the outlets for the Christmas decorations, they needed a little work, and they still do, but we got, I think on Saturday night, we had all the Christmas lights lit. So Friday night, we didn't make it, but,
Was that your first stroll?
yep,
Did you get to go out?
oh yeah.
Nice.
He was cranky about it because he was really upset about those lights the whole time I ran into him, but.
On Friday night, they weren't working on that, and one of them worked, I had them working earlier in the day.
Doubt anybody noticed.
And parks,
Pretty bright.
been a little busy in parks, got the tree removal project together, flushed out, got a budget for it. There's, two grant opportunities through DNRC. One is with the Inflation Reduction Act, and it's a grant that we're, eligible for as a disadvantaged community, and, it's 100% no match. It'll go up to 50,000. It would remove all the trees in, that were suggested be removed in the 2019 inventory, including the ones that were deemed public safety hazards. It would include some replanting, because that helps us score better, and it would include some pruning, because that helps us score better. The other grant, the DNRC, is only a $20,000 grant, and it has a match. So hopefully we get the IRA grant. I've also got a call out to the Arbor Day Foundation to see if, the Arbor Day Foundation grant would be applicable to this project. I think it would be, and if it is, we'll get an application in for that as well. We fill out paperwork every year to be designated a tree city, so that's been submitted and is under review. And then on the 18th, we're gonna apply for a little DNRC grant they put out every year for planting trees. It's just kind of a freebie. I had several people from Pride Park reach out to me about the planters in Pride Park, and they're rotten, and they are. I met with the landscape architect last week, and they're gonna kind of draw something more durable, have a visual representation of it, have a cost estimate for it, and then we can use that to go find money for grants.
More durable, like metal or something? Like,
Probably
not wood?
stone or concrete,
So, okay.
something,
All right, aesthetic.
and something that'll look good. And the other thing in parks, last week, the Parks Board, it was brought up that, the pickleball and tennis folks are interested in forming a committee like the pool had. I think it was called an advisory committee that helped fundraise for a major renovation of the tennis courts. So that's something that we'll be looking at as we go forward, and I think it would be hopefully structured like the pool board was, which I think it was a resolution from the council to establish it. That seemed like a good model, so.
Yep.
I'm gonna try and use that same one, and then, someone's gonna run through all my stuff. So that's Parks Board and Sustainability Board update. I don't think there's anything that Sustainability Board really.
There wasn't much, in terms of conversation. Granted, that was beginning of, that was the end of, I always get mixed up which one's the first week of the month and which is the third. But yeah, last Sustainability Board meeting was pretty light. We talked a little bit about reusable bags at Stroll. Talked a little bit about, some of the different grants that we've already applied for and that we have money for. The Northwest Energy solar stuff, yep.
Yeah,
But really,
that's all submitted. I think that was in last update. And then, the only other thing, and I think we're probably in the same place, the projects that were funded for the Public Works building, recycling building, they're in the works. They're just kind of, we're waiting right now. Solar panels are up, the inverters are installed, we're waiting for electrical permits and tying in, and then Northwest Energy to either reprogram the meters or put net meters in.
And they have a new director, like permits director here in the area too, so I just met him the other day, but, so that might be why there's a little bit of a hang up, but, and then, yeah, just to kind of piggyback, if you guys don't mind, I'll just jump right into my, Parks Board update, just kind of feed off of that. So at Parks Board, again, talked about pickleball and tennis folks creating a steering committee. They were meeting with Al Bloomer to really create that and talk about that infrastructure and what that looks like. And it sounds like they already have a few people committed to doing so. So that seems to be getting some good traction, but once they kind of have things more finalized, we'll probably bring that to Public Works and start working on a resolution to actually make that a thing. To make that an actual advisory committee that's supported through the council. Another thing is working on conversations, facilitating a conversation with the Whistler Observatory and the county, specifically to figure out a solution around lights and if there is one. And so that is something that is happening. Roger is helping coordinate. I'm helping coordinate with Roger. We're just going to be facilitators. No more, no less on that. So, because it's not really something we have authority over, but at the same time, we can bring people together. So we're working on that. And then otherwise, in terms of parks, I think that was about it. I know that here in the near future, they're going to be looking at kind of prioritizing parks projects, and those types of things. So they're going to take quite a bit of time to focus on that before summer kicks off, which will be really helpful. Anywho, that was the parks update. Just kind of figured I'd jump into that. So now we can jump into ordinance 969, to amend municipal code pertaining to the reserve spaces, accessible parking.
And I can just briefly touch on that. I'm happy to introduce that tonight. That's our first reading. And, there's really no changes.
So I was gonna say, did you
I think
change
last
anything?
time
There's a couple of little
There
things
was a
where we
couple
found
handicapped.
they had the wrong version in there.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so we were
That
like,
makes more sense. I was
Yeah,
like,
the-
it seems like we did this. Like,
Yeah, so it's, the correct one is in there tonight, and,
Okay,
I'll
fantastic.
introduce it, and I don't know that there's anything else that we need to say right now.
no, I think
I think we talked about it,
Yep.
agreed last meeting.
yeah,
Nope,
okay,
I feel good about it.
cool.
So, yeah.
Oh, man, did we just do that?
What?
Yeah, we're done.
No, hang on. Kate,
Hi. Hi.
come on up.
Cinta and I have children wrestling, and so we kind of had this opportunity to talk, and,
Long weekend.
yeah,
Lots
so
of stadium seats.
I first want to say, to the Public Works, they always allow us to come and tour the water treatment.
yeah.
We come for environmental science every year, and last fall, I was on a walk there below the sanctuary and kind of noticed a significant amount of water coming in. I think myself, like most people, kind of missed that the storm water was being diverted right below the high school there, into Rock Creek. And so, it's an amazing, project-based learning opportunity for my kids in environmental science, earth science, and the green team. We've already been out, doing some water quality monitoring just to see what's coming in out of our storm water. The nitrate levels are really, really high, and it's very interesting to see the ecosystem changing before our eyes with the increase of water. And we've even done some more research and know that there were no real public meetings because the day, if you remember March 13th, the world kind of shut down, and the following Monday was when you were going to have public meetings on the storm water. And so I think a lot of people aren't aware that the water from our stormwater is no longer going to go to the wastewater treatment plant, and we realize that is a great thing. Jeff does a really great job of like setting the stage of what it looks like after a flood. But as the green team advisor, we're really kind of interested in helping the city do some outreach on what this will mean for our waterway. And so I emailed Cinta, but I printed off, the EPA has a very nice, outreach materials, using stormwater smart outreach material, like kind of just some things. And the Green Team really would like to help with this education, for our community to just realize, like, now anything that goes in those drains over the 5-year period, right, there's different ones coming in, will go right into Rock Creek and into that major waterway on the Higgins. And so we need to be proactive about talking about water quality and nitrates and phosphates and why you really should pick up after your dog and what that might do to water quality below, the entry points for the city. And so, again, this is just, from the EPA, like, we would love to take it and make our own, but we wanted to start a conversation first and let you know that, the Green Team is really interested in doing some work. The Carbon County Resource Council has about a year of data that they've been collecting along Rock Creek, and the results are not good. Nitrates are really off the charts. And myself, we have been testing E. coli from about 5 different locations with my environmental science class, and it's a high school class, I'm not publishing any of my data. But, we have fun, we learned. But, E. coli, I think, the flooding really has changed some things. I think we do have more sewage coming into Rock Creek above stream than maybe we're aware of, whether, I don't know, things got washed out, but before, I never got E. coli hit, prior to the flood, around town, and I do now. And so there's just some interesting stuff, and I think water is gonna become more and more of a talking point. And so I just kind of wanted to say, we would love to have a conversation. We're not sure who to have a conversation with. We kind of have dreams of having a water symposium on Earth Day to just, introduce the public into what is changing in our community with all this construction, because people really don't realize what the construction is for. And so, just interested in, if you like the EPA look, would you be interested in us helping? Could it be a joint venture to let our constituents know what's going on? So starting the conversation.
Right. Great conversation.
Let's make sure you and Mike have exchanged information before we're done here.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike,
This is Mike on the front
Yeah,
row.
I sent an email and you were great, I think, getting me contacted with you.
Kate?
Yeah, I'd like to see
Yeah.
what you had before and after, for sure.
Okay, yeah, again, nice, I'm like,
And he's already working on some numbers for us to basically talk about, like, how much we've seen our water usage decrease out as we fix not only, you've seen the stormwater stuff going on, of course, but there's also a lot of repairs to our water mains that's actually decreasing what's coming out. So we've got a couple of different angles we're hitting it at, and this fits right into that conversation.
yeah. And then just the last request, and I don't know how to go about this, but, at some of the culverts, they're right below, we were interested in like getting some flow gauges.
Below,
The Yellowstone Sanctuary, the recycling center, the Higgins, street, and we were curious if maybe we could do some painting for levels to be able to do quick ideas of how much water is coming out there, because I think it's going to be quite shocking. VRTA has a trail that goes down there, and it's kind of got washed out with the the flood, and so I actually think that whole area is going to change ecosystem-wise with, and so putting more material, and so maybe even like eventually, maybe do we need to do more of a drainage pond there to try to get some heavy sediments and stuff out before it goes in? I think there's a lot of conversations that maybe might have been brought up had those public meetings happened in 2020 in March, but COVID.
Weird.
I think we do have, somewhat of a drainage pond down there where it's coming.
I sent you the pictures Kate sent me, or I just sent you a text.
Well, I've been down and looked at it,
Yeah.
it's a big wallow, I guess, or something,
Yeah,
It's not a
it's not
pond per
very
se,
big,
but
but
it's,
we're kind of interested because we think the flow is going to be pretty
Sure.
significant at times. I mean, if you're
Oh, yeah.
thinking that this used to flood the wastewater treatment plant, that room, right? Like, if we're diverting it, that's gonna be down in that area, and just for safety and letting people know that, you know, it's gonna be kind of different, and I think it's a pretty recreational area. So, we're very interested in maybe like doing some markers. We talked about maybe trying to put something in, but we're worried about the amount of water, and so painting will allow us to take a quick look at that.
We certainly need to coordinate that with the Public Works Director, but yeah, we're not opposed at all.
I'm on board with that.
Okay, well, excellent. So,
No, I think this is, I like the visual of it, I like the idea of maybe doing this as an Earth Day thing. And I think it does have to be something that is together, like.
yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, like, that's why I came first before we
Yeah.
had any,
Like,
like,
really.
conversations, right? You know?
Releasing reports. like-
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I think honestly, again, if there's things that we can be doing that could be proactive, this would actually be really interesting, I bet, for the Sustainability Board to hear.
Have you taken it to the state?
No,
Not yet.
again, like,
Oh.
we're
I was-
just like, you were the first
I
pick.
got to sit next to her in the special meeting.
Yeah.
So I was down there,
We have
Yeah,
numbers and stuff.
absolutely.
They
Yeah.
email me everything, I'll look at it.
Mhm.
I was walking my dogs down there
Corey
today.
Corey Thompson, we can get you her.
Yeah,
information.
You've got Corey.
Yeah, we used to have green team members, it's just the timing of their meetings, and that's why I'm here. Everybody's out of practice or going to a practice.
I was
So
just wondering.
like, yeah, so wrestling's
No way.
still going on, basketball, yeah, so that's why it's me, not a kid, sorry.
I know, I was like, how's Emily gonna make it? No, she's not.
That is you. So I was just walking around today, and I noticed that there is like a little stream north of that last fence by the, Yellowstone Wildlife
Yeah,
Sanctuary. Is that it?
that is
And I
exactly,
looked in there and I was like, whoa, dog, get out of there.
What is
that?
It looked a
Yeah.
little bit janky, but,
it's
so-
gonna be, it's just very different. I mean, there has always been water that has come down there, it's just decreasing the amounts, and again, I've looked at the reports and kind of deduced that it's gonna be a pretty big drainage, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Like
there's three
Some
culverts
springtime
there,
now?
it's gonna be, I mean, it's built for a lot of water coming through.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to one, hear a little bit more about our system, because again, I know that it's there and it's diverting water from our sewage, which is great, but again, okay, what happens between the street and the river?
Well, like,
Yeah.
we were discussing, like, to be proactive on making any kind of remediations that we need to now, and there's so many
Mhm.
natural ways to do that, that it's.
Yeah, and I bet you there's grants for this, I bet you that
Exactly.
there's
Well, and
opportunities
this
too.
is a great learning-based project area. I
Yeah.
mean, like, my kids can walk down there in less than 15 minutes and be doing some, yeah, it's educational
there you go.
opportunity for all.
Mhm.
Awesome.
All right, well, I'll start bothering you then with.
Yeah, start with him.
And we'll see where we can go with it.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you guys for your time, I greatly appreciate it.
Awesome, thank you very much for putting that
Yeah,
together.
absolutely.
Thanks
It's
for
not
skipping
directly from the
practice.
EPA.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
got that,
Yeah.
but,
That's-
yeah.
Thank you for printing it and bringing it.
Yeah,
to
well,
Yeah.
I just felt like it was easier, and yeah.
You sent it to
Super
me in
cute,
class,
too.
I was.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So, well, excellent, thank you for letting me speak.
And that, you're right, up till now, most of our focus has been on 1 gallon of sewer plus 10 gallons of rainwater equals
Mhm.
11 gallons of sewer that needs to be treated.
Right,
So
right, yeah.
It's not been that, so now that our stormwater is stormwater and it's still going in the river,
Now we need to.
what else is in there? We all live downstream.
Yeah, I mean, that is the big thing,
Mm-hmm.
because before it was treated, you know, you have these great siltation dividers and the ability to pull out the
Mm-hmm.
trash, you know, I mean, it's quite interesting what comes down the drain, and we know that those seem the grates are helpful, but yeah, so we'd like to do a big PR with high school kids, and so, yeah, should be kind of exciting.
And
paint little
Lisa's pro-
fishes on the.
Yeah, they're on there, right?
Yeah.
But again,
And a lot
I
of
think we
other
need to
cities
bring
have that.
people's attention, right? Like, it's on there. I mean, we're actually talking about, you know, there's some cool artwork right now with clothing, like go over and like, you know, like a pencil.
Oh,
pencil, but
etching,
yeah, but you do
etching.
that with the fish, beware, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
gonna,
a much more practical approach then, and yes, I've heard that we need to remove all people from the valley that we don't belong here, and
Yeah.
I've heard that as a solution that we need to.
yeah.
I mean, that one's not terrible.
No, everybody.
That includes you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think it included the person who was making the proposal, everybody else.
Okay, well,
Noted.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email.
Yeah.
All right,
Send me
thanks.
an email.
Awesome,
Appreciate
thank
it,
you.
guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah,
All right.
we done.
I like it. proactive thinking.
Yes, absolutely. She actually, I don't know if you guys realize or know, Kate, she was actually awarded in DC. I'm trying to find kind of, you know, I don't know if it was out there or not, but, she went to DC and was awarded this whole,
Yeah, she's,
Oh, yeah.
she's a rock star,
Yeah, no, she's a big deal.
like science teacher of the year or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
not, yeah, and it was a lot. But again, there was a green team member on the wrestling team, and in between our, 3 hours in between each 30-second match, there, and we were chatting it up. So I was like, come to the meeting, this is a perfect opportunity.
Love it, yeah, no, that was great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any other conversations?
Did you guys get this email? I don't know if you separated it in terms of a quorum, nitrates in Rock Creek. I'll forward it to you.
I did not get
I
that.
did not get that either.
This one came from David Arthur, and it was just, like, serendipitous, that just happened, like, while she was literally in here talking about it, so then I was like, wait a minute.
Interesting.
And it says what?
It is from David Arthur, and we published a scientific paper this past October in Journal of Freshwater Ecology, and the shorter version in the Academic Science Explained. We found high levels of nitrates in Rock Creek around Red Lodge. Levels were 5 times higher than downstream. The source appears to be septic systems. The levels exceeded the DEQ threshold. Exuberant expansion is the greatest threat to the environment in Carbon County. Unfortunately, no solution in sight. Sincerely, David Arthur. Joliet, Biology, Earth Science, Environmental.
Interesting.
So I
It's
was like,
interesting
that
that they're high here and not like in the agriculture.
I was just like,
area,
and I even texted,
Yeah.
I was like, I just texted Kate, I was like, Kate, I just got this email, what, Brendan? Like, literally,
That was, and
as Kate's here, I'm like,
that is the one I was referring to.
yeah, I was like, what? No way, yeah.
Okay, well, that's,
There's a
we-
lot of
we-
stuff that happens south of town that contributes to that,
mhm,
including sewage going directly into
mhm,
the creek versus into a septic system.
yep,
Oh, man.
Will you forward a copy of that?
and you don't buy anything off
At one
Spencer
time,
Lane.
Rock Creek Resort had some stuff going in, but I think they probably corrected that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of, old systems that were put in without necessarily getting approved, and we're starting to discover more and more of those. DEQ is becoming very aware of those. Our local sanitarians are becoming very aware of those, where it used to be a lot more lax. They're really starting to hammer down, and people are buying property and then realizing that their septic fails and they can't put in a new tank because of water tables and location and just, yeah, not having enough runoff. It's a hot mess.
Mhm.
And I'm aware the county is actually revisiting all of their kind of policies on all that sort of stuff too, and getting
Yep.
ready to update it for the new millennium
Yeah, there's
that we're 25 years into.
Yep. No, there's a lot of that happening right now, so it's very interesting. Part of the reason, just pay a lot of attention if you ever buy land.
I'm done.
Right?
Done with that.
God.
All right, well, I think if you guys are all right with it, we can adjourn this and have a solid 40 minutes before.
Hi, I brought all the snacks this time, too.
I have my cheat sheet already.
Snack
printed.
party.
Headache from that.
Good job.
All right,